Chloe.
I'm Becky.
And we are British sisters. And we have a YouTube channel called Chloe and Becky Zak, so give us a watch. But today we are here to review a super famous Indian Bollywood film called, and I'm so sorry if I get the pronunciation wrong, we clearly can't speak any kind of language other than English. Go for it.
Oh, great.
I got a funny feeling. I got a funny feeling. Yeah.
It's
Coochie coochie hata hai.
Hope you understood what that said. I'm sure it'll be on the screen somewhere. I'm going to preface this by saying I don't think I've ever watched a Bollywood film in full. I've seen a lot of clips of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of musical numbers, stuff like that. But this is the first full-length whole one I've seen. If there's anything that we say that doesn't make sense because we're not like used to this genre, I apologise.
We looked it up before we watched it to get a kind of idea for it, and we got the vibe that it was quite, I don't know if groundbreaking is the word, but like different, maybe more modern.
More like stylistic, I think.
Yeah.
Because, the director wanted to do a really stylistic movie, and it definitely does come across in like the set design and in all the costumes and the locations. Because randomly they're in Scotland at some point.
No explanation. I thought it was maybe a travel movie, but no, they just like different backdrops for dancing.
Yeah, we can go into that later. The film's from 1998, so we're going to give it a little bit of leeway because it's so old. Mm-hmm. Because if you think about any film from like the 90s, it's a little cheesy.
Yes.
And a little dated. I'm not going to mince my words. And I'm going to say some of this was a little dated.
Although the one dated thing I really enjoyed was the fashion, especially at the beginning of the movie when they're all wearing proper like neon 90s clothes.
Oh my god. This is what I'm talking about with like the stylistic choices the director made, because the clothes were so cool.
Yeah.
I love neon anyway, and like everyone was so coordinated. It was like our childhood just like on screen, because we used to have all the brands that they like were showing, like Adidas, there was DKNY, Polo by Ralph Lauren.
Yeah. Oh, and a Gap hoodie, which I had a fake one because
I had a kids one because I couldn't afford the dogs one. So yeah, we were really into the fashion of it. That was really cool.
It was also confusing. I could be, once again, because we haven't seen another one, we weren't sure if they were trying to make it super Americanized, because the high school or the college they were at is so American, and like it felt like High School Musical meets like a 90s movie.
Yeah, like a 90s rom-com movie.
Yeah.
Like She's All That or something like that. Especially because Anjali, one of the main girl characters, she's like a tomboy, doesn't think she's pretty, and like doesn't really care about that stuff, and that's like in She's All That.
Yeah.
When she was like less cool than even Anjali, this girl in She's All That. But later on in the movie, she becomes beautiful, just like the She's All That girl.
Yeah.
It's like, take the ponytail down, and suddenly you're just a doll.
Yeah, somehow we're supposed to think from the start that Anjali isn't attractive,
even though she's clearly gorgeous. Yeah.
It's like, I wear hats, so I'm not hot.
And I have short-ish hair.
Basketball.
Everything manly.
Yeah, that wasn't my favourite. The way she got the boy was in the end just conforming to being very feminine and not even being able to play basketball properly anymore. She falls over a sari.
Well, to be fair, she was in a sari playing basketball.
No one can do that.
That's an unfair advantage for Rahul, to be fair.
Can we also side note on Rahul? Biggest wimp I've ever seen. He looks longingly almost the entire movie. Like how is it so hard to just say,
I have feelings for you.
I think you're quite nice. Please don't marry Indian George Clooney.
A man. Who is a man?
With a plan. But his plan is foiled by
Rahul. Rahul, sorry.
Yes. So it starts, as every movie does.
It begins.
Although it does start with 7 hours of credits.
Classic, very 90s. Classic 90s movies. They all do that. They all like sit there, and you will watch every single person that's been in a part of this movie for practically 15 minutes.
And if you forget about it, wait for the end and you'll see it all over again on black. Anyway, so where do we start? It starts with Tina birthing miserably.
Oh my god, poor girl. She's dying.
Yeah.
And it's sad. And then we learn that the kid's going to be named Anjali, and we're like, why?
Why? Who minced this woman?
Yes.
And then we cut to forward?
I think it's
present day.
We see 8-year-old Anjali.
Yeah. Who was slightly irritating.
She's a good little girl.
She's good, but she's precocious.
I mean, that's what you want in a movie child.
Yes, Debbie, you wouldn't want to know in real life, but great on screen.
Great on screen, very entertaining.
Yeah, a lot of headbands.
Oh yeah, well, it's in the 90s.
Yes.
Oh, that was the other thing. We didn't really understand the time difference because the fashion was the same in like both eras.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that.
It was made in the 90s, therefore they didn't account for time difference. Either we're in the future when she's
in the
8,
90s,
and then we're in 98 when it's college time.
Oh wait,
do you see what I mean?
There's only 8 years been passed. So
No, more than 8 years. She didn't like pop out a baby immediately in college.
Well, who cares? But it's all
Anyway,
90s and fun.
It's all fun. I love the fashion. Especially his oversized suit. That is so 90s.
Oh yeah, every time he
With
shows up
shoulder pads.
a bigger suit.
It's great. It really just nails down the period.
Mm-hmm.
We then learn that Angela is 8 and she gets letters from her mum every birthday because obviously her mother has passed away, which is very sad. Yeah, she's waiting for her 8th birthday for this letter.
Yes. She bypasses all of her presents, like she's so clearly so rich. She doesn't need anything.
Or maybe
seen her
that's
house.
why. She is quite rich. I was going to say like that's very like thoughtful of her to care about
she's
the mum.
so spoiled. She's hoping there's money in the envelope.
Maybe. She then reads the letter, and then we get transported back in time to Rahul's college days. And this personally was my favourite part of the movie. Was this whole like
the college
period,
part,
the college part,
fun.
because of how fun everything was in it. There's a lot of attention to detail in it with the lockers, like everything. Like everything is very thought out and styled.
It looks like a cartoon.
It almost looks like a cartoon. It's all bright colours and like really deliberately done. And not super realistic, but I like that.
Yes, I think it was cool. And the characters, I don't know, this is another thing, I'm not sure if it's a Bollywood thing. It feels like a mixture between Shakespeare and Disney.
Oh,
it's
because
like
it's very
theatrical, and very romantic and like romanticized characters. Like, and everyone is very much a character, like a stereotype. Like you have the nutty, wacky principal. Well, there's just like very like jester-ish characters that are like
which is like Shakespeare.
Yeah, and then there's always the beautiful leads who you would aspire to, and then Disney it's just very child-friendly and musical.
I mean that is good. It kind of appeals to all ages, I think.
Yeah,
probably. We were looking at some articles about it. The one we ended up reading was saying that like this is like an essential part of my childhood. Like it's super nostalgic. This film, so I get that. Like if you were a kid in the 90s, which we were. If we'd had that film, it probably would be something that because this is very similar to like High School Musical and all the older movies that we watched.
Yeah,
I like it. It has like a cool nostalgic vibe. It is a little silly, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's very like escapism.
Yes,
it's not like gritty drama, which you don't always want.
Sometimes you just want to have a giggle and a dance.
Oh, I mean, you could also have a cry because there is a lot of crying in it.
Wet eyes. I've never seen a glassier eye. The one on Rahul when he won't say anything. Stop crying and say anything.
Just like
you're wasting
out. Like just let your feelings out, man.
I have a side note opinion that I've realised that Tina is a dickhead. She
That's so mean.
I'm sorry, but like she comes between one relationship. She like barges in and steals Rahul when she can see that they're meant to be together.
Yeah.
Then she gets to the point where she's like, oh well, I'm dying now, so I guess I might as well let him have his real wife. And then it goes and splits up another couple in order for them to get together.
Now Angeli's actually she's not happy, but she probably thinks she's happy, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
And then that gets torn apart. Actually, I don't feel sorry for Angeli because I don't think she liked Armin. But I feel sorry for him.
I feel sorry for Armin, and I feel sorry for Angeli in the first place. It's just like Tina's a homewrecker from the grave.
Oh, but she was very sweet. She never did anything wrong.
I know. But she was just like so like just effortlessly flapping around, floating.
She's like the girl you'd be so jealous of in school.
But she happened to like when they were at the train station and Angeli leaves, she sees what's happening. She doesn't stop it, but she sees it with all her heart.
Yeah, but if you love someone, she loved Rahul. It's like they never had a relationship, so technically she wasn't doing anything wrong.
I know. She doesn't come across as a bitch or anything. It's just like, what do you do in that situation?
Yeah.
Come back from the dead and hook them up later.
Yeah, that's exactly. There you go. She's done her job. All is well. They go to Goa real quick. That was fun. I loved seeing the beach.
So random.
It wasn't that random though, because on the side of the bus it said like school trip to Goa.
Oh, I missed that.
Oh,
I thought it was just. Well, it's just the way they randomly end up in Scotland with no explanation.
Well, I was going to get to that part. That part made no sense to me. It was beautiful. Don't get me wrong. They managed to find some castles, a lot of hills. Like Scotland is awesome, but it's very different from where they were before. And they didn't say anything.
No, but he did wear like a zip-up fleece to show that it was
the
chilly.
Difference in temperature. But I mean, it did look cool for the musical number. So I thought they were just going to be there for the musical number. But I'm pretty sure there were other scenes there. Like there was a scene in at the college that was suddenly at a castle.
And the kid camp. Kid camp.
Oh yeah, we couldn't
What's
figure
it
out
called?
summer camp.
That's the one.
The kid camp.
Full of kids.
I mean, you're not wrong.
not wrong.
I mean, we couldn't figure out where that was set, but I guess it doesn't really matter because this is not like a realistic movie, obviously. So like, it doesn't really matter.
It's more of a dream world.
Yeah, and it's cool. Like, I love all the different sets and all that. Like I said. Anywho, Tina comes along and ruins Anjali's life. It didn't actually realise she loved Raoul until like a little bit later. It wasn't like she was already in love with him when we met her.
No, they actually were very annoyed by each other.
Exactly.
And very
They
animated
hated
about it.
Oh, they hated each other, but
Yeah.
loved each other as friends. Yeah.
The worst thing I've ever seen, it killed me, is when they run up to each other and he says, I love you, and she's so excited, and then he's just rehearsing a speech for the hot one.
Yeah, it doesn't like warn her.
No.
Like, just runs up to her and literally says, I love you so much. And the poor girl is like, oh my god, my dreams have come true.
Yeah.
As you would.
Yeah, and now all she can do is get on a busy train.
Poor thing.
Out of town.
She
She gives up on her entire university.
because of
doesn't she?
him, yeah. I mean, again, it's not really his fault because he didn't know she was in love with him. So this is all like no one's fault.
No.
But it does suck that she gives up her whole education and just goes home.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
So then we cut back to present day. Anjali has found out that she needs to reunite her dad and Anjali. So she needs to find Anjali. And she's all about this, which is very sweet of her because I feel like when I was a kid, I wouldn't want a new mum.
No, probably not. But she does, like, in the beginning we realise that the dad puts too much responsibility on her. And
True, that's true.
And yeah, I think she wants to see him happy. Plus she's been told by her mother, who she holds to very high standards because they've never met.
You mean if she had met, she might not like her as much because
I don't like
then she's
Tina.
a real person. Yeah, fair enough. No, poor Tina. She's hated by everyone for no reason.
She's not hated by anyone except for me.
Okay.
I wonder if this is a popular opinion.
I don't know. And then the search begins.
For Anjali, number one.
And then it gets confusing because there are two of the persons with the same name.
Yes. How do they find each other? I forget. Oh, they asked the old lady.
Oh yeah, there's a woman at the school who I guess someone knows still, and she knows where Anjali is. They get in contact, and somehow, long story short, she's going to a summer. Oh no, we realise she's engaged.
Yes.
So we see
To a man.
To a man.
A man.
A man. So this guy clearly is very popular, and she's very lucky to be with him because he's a catch.
Yes.
But she doesn't seem all that happy,
No.
to be honest. Even at the start, when she doesn't even know that Raoul's remotely interested. Yeah, because he's all like, do you even want to be with me? And then he says one thing that really pissed me off, actually. He's like, you know I'm going to drag you down the aisle even if you don't want to, basically. And I thought that was a little
bit much.
maybe don't do that.
And maybe he was being playful. Or just insecure and trying to cover it.
I mean, he's clearly insecure about it because you would be if your wife
Yeah.
really didn't love you. But yeah, that's the only thing he said. I was a bit like, ugh. But in general, seems like a nice bloke. She doesn't like him very much. And then, and she's like, I'm going to the summer camp to teach the kids because I do that every year. And he's annoyed that she's going away, but she's still doing it, which is great. You know, girl power, all that.
She goes there.
Yeah, we're cutting stuff out, obviously.
I know, because you've seen it.
Hopefully, otherwise, please
Go watch it. Don't listen to this.
Yeah.
This movie sounds terrible. It's all over the place. Yeah, Anjali, tiny, 8-year-old Anjali.
Yeah, baby Anjali.
Runs away to the summer camp against her father's wishes, knowing that he will chase her down there.
Yeah.
She takes the comical grandma figure along with her, who is about 3 years older than Rahul.
Yeah, she was so
How dare
young.
an old woman be in a film? And they get to the summer camp, which is kind of like Charlie's Chocolate Factory.
It looked so fun.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to be here.
Yeah, it looks great.
And the guy that runs it
loves the Queen.
loves Britain.
Very nice.
I'm like, ugh, maybe you shouldn't love the people that tried to rule you, but
Yeah.
there we go.
That was funny.
That was really funny. He was like talking to a painting of Queen Elizabeth I. He was like something about mummy. I was like, oh my god, that was great.
So that was funny to get a little insight into the opinion of how that all went down.
Yeah, which clearly not well, because why would you want to be ruled by anyone but yourself?
Yeah.
So yeah, he's like got a flag of the British flag like flying, and the grandma is not okay with that, and she like at night puts up like the Indian flag, which is pretty great.
I thought they'd end up together, those two.
I thought they'd end up together. They were flirting with each other the whole time.
I'm not sure he's got all his marbles though.
He was quite
Seemed a bit
out
off.
there. The principal was nutty, but this guy was like nutty on steroids. Like he was a lot.
Yeah. After some songs and fun and games games at the camp. Along comes Rahul, predictably, to try and take his daughter back to his house.
And then, oh no, wait, you forgot that like Anjali and Anjali, I can't remember how, but they end up knowing who each other is.
Yes.
Well, obviously the little one knows who the big one is, but the big one realises who Anjali is. So one night, Anjali is watching TV. MTV is on, and Rahul is on there, and he's giving like a love note out to little Anjali because he's lost her and he wants to find her. And big Anjali watches it and thinks that he's talking to her.
Once again, thinks that Rahul is confessing his love to her.
Which she's not, again. But it makes her realise that that's little Anjali in her camp. So she gets really shocked and she wakes her up and they realise who they are.
So then we finally get the meetings of Big Anjali and Rahul. They'd never kiss!
They never kiss because I don't think they do in Bollywood movies.
No, they didn't kiss in High School Musical either.
That's interesting. They do kiss on the cheek though. There's like a few cheek kisses through the movie.
There was like an exciting neck touch.
Oh, there was. That was quite sort of...
That was very sexy.
It was. So basically the entire... All that happens is he just like flirts with her, tries to kick her ass at basketball, and then
too much.
Nearly says he loves her like 1,000 times. And they just look at each other a lot and there's some dancing and singing. And then he doesn't say it!
Yeah, it was so frustrating because, like, the first thing they said to each other, kind of like dropping very obvious hints that they would have got married, and then they just don't talk about that ever again and act like they're friends. Yeah. It's kind of like The Lion King. It felt like Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
Oh, I love that so much.
So it was a very, like, tense will they, won't they for a while.
Yeah, it really was. Because at one point I was like, this is going to be like a Shakespeare tragedy. Especially because they show Romeo and Juliet at the start of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, there might have been foreshadowing. It, thank God wasn't. But I really thought that she was going to end up with the other guy.
Yeah, maybe.
And it would just be like an unfinished love story forever. Luckily, that didn't happen.
No.
And I'm sorry if I've spoiled the movie for you.
Yes.
It's from 1998. There are going to be spoilers.
So yeah, after much humming and hawing, the final moment they could possibly hook up, it's a lot of tension, and it's the day of the wedding, and in comes Rahul just to watch, supposedly just to witness his friend getting married.
Yeah, I don't know if he did come for that reason. Maybe he came to break them up. I actually don't know.
I think he wanted to, and then maybe his morals held him back. But that's when they're the glassy-eyed, both very tearful people.
But then
something else.
Aman, bless his little cotton socks, he was annoyed at first. Understandably, like, this douchebag showed up to like take his new wife.
Yeah.
But then he kind of realizes, oh my God, she's looking at him how I've always wanted to be looked at by her, and she never has. Therefore, she can't be for me.
It was very mature.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that was real life. It would be easier to like be dumped if you knew everyone, if you felt or believed that everyone had this one love. And you're like, oh, I just happen, it's the rules. I'm not that one love. That's fine.
That would be
I'm
good.
not in charge of the universe. But instead you have to be like, is my hair too flat? What was wrong with me?
I was like, what about the hair? And then I realised what you meant. Yeah, that is very true. Like, destiny is a thing in our culture, but it's not as strongly stressed, and I think it needs to be. I do like the idea of destiny. I like the idea of fate. I do like the idea that there are people that are better for you than others. I mean, there are, just in, like, logistics. Honestly, like, don't go out with someone who's the complete opposite from you, probably.
Opposites attract though, right?
That's weird. Because, like, you can't just have opposite opinions on every single thing, right? That would be so stupid.
I don't think that's what that means.
I think it is.
Okay.
So Aman, in all his mature glory, gives her up. Is like, go to your love.
And on their wedding day.
Which is ridiculous.
And then, like, it could be like, okay, thank you, we'll just step outside to have our love. And no, they basically steal the show.
Steal all the wedding preparation. He's paid for this, poor guy. I'm sure he'll be reimbursed, but nevertheless.
Was he?
Well, I mean,
by who?
Rahul.
Anjali? Oh.
Rahul! He would pay Aman to, like, be like, okay, dude, I took over your wedding, let me give you the money.
Wait, do you think they got married as well?
Oh, I thought that was the point. Are they just together then?
I think they're just together. They just hug. That doesn't mean they're married. That's not the rules.
I don't know. Maybe they're betrothed.
Yeah, I mean, circumstantially, perhaps they should have got married because everything's already there and set up.
I thought that was what was
Maybe
happening.
they did.
No.
Aman is the best. Is a man. He's a good guy.
He's a very good guy, regardless of how they ended the movie, because clearly neither of us understood completely. That That was very nice of him to allow that, and they all seemed very happy in the end. All of them. No one had any bad feelings.
Because little Angie was like, could see that Aman would be upset. She's a very sensitive child, and she was like, any girl would have you, and now he's fine because he can just go find another one, in his opinion.
I mean, he's really apparently very good looking, so I'm sure he'll be fine.
Apparently.
I mean, little girl's like, you can get anyone.
Yeah, and then he basically, in a weird way, asks her to marry him.
And then we end the film. No, so in conclusion, it is a fun romp, very nostalgic feeling, even for us who grew up in the UK. I love all the colours, I love all the dancing, I love all the energy. It is a little dated, it just seems like a 90s movie.
Yeah, which is actually great.
Yeah, exactly.
I love a 90s movie. I feel like they're still the best, like late 80s, 90s, the best made movies. They've just given up. I mean, obviously, the graphic effects. Like, I will say the shooting stars were funny.
Oh, that was very slow across the sky. It's the slowest one I've ever seen.
Look, a shooting star. Where? Oh, yes, it's still there. I see it.
Yep.
It's very escapism, childlike.
Romance.
Yeah,
heavy
it was
romance.
like a nice, feel-good. With romantic movies, you basically always know the end is going to be positive.
Except that for a moment I was worried.
But there was a moment where I was like, these people are just going to look at each other longingly until they die. And then they didn't. Maybe they're dead. No, I'm not going to say that. That's stupid.
Well, I think that's about it from us for now. I hope you enjoyed this ridiculous review and it was entertaining and you didn't just shake your head at us the entire time.
Yeah. Once again, apologies that we're not better versed in this. But I think I'm going to watch a lot more Bollywood movies now, especially as now my Netflix is just suggesting Bollywood movies since we watched one.
That's true. We're going to become experts.
Yeah.
Get ready for the next review.
Exactly. Stay tuned.
Yeah, but anyway, check us out at Chloe and Becky Zak or our Instagrams, and we will see you soon, hopefully. Thank you for watching.